and welcome to Jammin. I'm Rowland Rivron, and these great things in front of me are my drums. On the bass, they've assured us he's taken his pills, so he's here again with us. Dave Catlin-Birch. And on the keyboards, he's back after his successful appearance on Michael Barrymore's My Kind of Music, Richard Vranch. And joining us this week, on the guitar and various other instruments, the wonderful Laverne. And our second guest, on the guitar, it's our old mucker, Gribbin. Hello, I'm Rowland Rivron, and welcome again to Jamming, the comedy show that knows its green onions. Green onions, Booker T and the MGs, yeah? It's a play on... Oh, forget it. First of all, time to say hello to the men providing the kind of solid backline groove that makes them, well, our very own George and Ringo, or should that be George and Mildred? I think the latter. Richard Vranch and Dave Catlin-Birch. Thank you. What of the talented turns we have for you this evening? First of all, we say hello to a musician, radio presenter, TV star, and one-time lead singer with the banker Nicky. So, get out your duffel coats, comb your lanky, greasy hair, order a pint of snakebite, and welcome from Sunderland, the fabulous Rowland Rivron. So, Lauren, what first got you into music up there on Wearside? Was it the brief dalliance with Bruno Brooks, or maybe an all-night session with Keith Harris and Orville?
Oh, no, it was my dad. I did see Keith Harris and Orville live on my 6th birthday, but they forgot to announce that it was my birthday, so they're scum, as far as I'm concerned.
And in the red corner, he hails from the city immortalised in the lyrics of the Beatles, Baby, You Can Mind My Car, and For the Gyro of Mr. Kite, and of course the unforgettable Carla Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. Yes, it's Liverpool's one and only Gribbin. Thank you. Steve, what tunes do you remember shaking a rattle to back in the sound?
Well, I have a terrible admission to make. Last time I was on here, I told you about the band that I used to be in, which had the worst title of any band ever, which was called Bandstand. Right. But I was in an even worse one, right, because I moonlighted from that one. It's a terrible sort of art student rock type band, and this is a horrible name, Terminal Beach, we were called.
That's okay.
How bad is that? No, we used to have great songs like Stench of Decay, Putrefaction, you know. Actually, Putrefaction used to go something like this. It used to go, there's no action, your putrefaction. We didn't have any girlfriends.
So, time for what we like to call our first round, new songs for old. Now, no one wants to stick with tired and trusted favourites forever. Just ask Rod Stewart. And just like Rod and his leggy blondes, this is the round where we swap our old tunes for sexy and newer models. This week, we turn to a man whose dark suave, good looks and ruthless charm have made him a household name. No, not Simon Cowell. I mean James Bond. But with some of the older Bond songs looking as old as Roger Moore does in View to a Kill, can you help them out with some new versions of the old classic Bond themes? Steve, what about you? What have you got?
Well, I thought tonight I'd do the most unlikely people to cover a Bond song, R.E.M. and their fantastically enigmatic singer, Mr. Michael Stipe. This is their take on the Bond film. Pierce Brosnan is not Bond, he is not Bond. There's only one Bond, and that's the bond between us. I am not he, I am not me, I'm not Sean Connery. Oh, it's me in the copter, losing most of my luncheon. I haven't forgiven David Niven for Casino Royale. It keeps on phasing me. George Lazenby was in Her Majesty's service. Should have been Peter Purvis, Peter Purvis, Peter Purvis.
Lauren, what about you?
The lyrics to The Band with the Golden Gun are some of the most they're verging on the kind of James Joyce-esque, almost
really?
Stream of consciousness.
Lulu
weirdness.
singing James Joyce?
Yeah, it's really weird. It's kind of Lulu sees, but sorry, okay. But anyway, yeah, no, it's really, really, really weird, and you can't kind of hear it because she kind of swallows them when she actually sings it. So I thought, if I were to scat it for our audience, that maybe they could hear some of the lyrics and take them on and kind of play with them a little. He has a powerful weapon. He charges 1 million a shot. An assassin, second to none. He is the man with the golden gun. Love is required whenever he's hired. It comes just before the kill. No one can catch him, no hitman can match him for his $1 million skill. And then I kind of added this bit on the end, because you know how in Bond everything's about like gold and stuff. I made it up. Golden fingers, guns and eyes, golden crusts of golden pies, golden girls and golden guys, and golden grahams, and then it's finished because I ran out of stuff. Finished, bye, Jen! Thank you.
Richard, what about you?
I'm afraid to say I hate James Bond films.
No!
So if I wrote a James Bond theme, it would tell the truth. It's a James Bond film, what a surprise. In the end he survives to be in the next James Bond film. Girls and guns and toys, they're made for adolescent boys. I'd rather stay at home, James, your films are all the same. We'll never meet again, Q, U and I and M. James Bond films, they're not grade A or even grade B, I'm afraid. James Bond, grade C films.
Now it brings me on to Dave.
I thought I'd actually take From Russia with Love, which is a beautiful song, back to its Cossack roots.
From Russia with love I fly to you, much wiser since my goodbye to you. I've traveled the world to learn. I must return from Russia with love. To Russia I flew, but there and then I suddenly knew you'd care again. My running around is through. I fly to you from Russia with love.
Now, let me ask you this. Would the shower scene in Psycho be half as terrifying were it not for Bernard Herrmann's dramatic music? Yes, Bernard was certainly the most terrifying one of all the Herrmanns, unless you count Peter Noon, of course, or, as I like to pronounce his name, Peter No-One. You see, I just put a little... Richard's still going, eat your heart out. All of which blather is to get us into the round called incidental music. I'll describe an imaginary film, and all you have to do, my friends, is provide the score. Right, so let's start. Well, you're in a scary house, Richard. Yeah, that's pretty scary. And you think there might be a murderer somewhere in the house, but where? In the shower, of course. So, you run outside to the car and chase the murderer. Dave, you'll go. Yeah, that works. I'm going very fast. You finally chase the murderer into a club. No, wrong club! Oh. The club is being used for a reception held by the American ambassador.
Monsieur, Mrs. Rocher, you will be really spoiling us.
There you see a trio of baddies.
Trio!
Not one, not two, but three things in it. I want a trio and I want...
OK, all right, that's enough. That's enough of the... I realise there's a theme here with adverts. I didn't realise this was going to go down this road. Now, these baddies, one was good, one was bad, and one was very ugly. That's a lovely ensemble piece. All right, that's enough. Don't push it. Big hand for Lauren there. Well done. But suddenly you're approached by a beautiful woman called Martina. No, Martina! Not the right place, not the right face, nothing. Suddenly she gets out her laptop computer. Why? It's a Pentium. He's got to get it in, hasn't he? She tells you that you have to escape with her on a plane. You're not taking the mickey, are you, Lauren?
Not at all.
Good. But there's no plane available, so you have to get on a ship. But there's only one place to sit or stand. It's the front of the ship. What could that be? It's Titanic. But it's on a stylophone. What a shame. Well done, Lauren. OK, that's fine, yes. But no, don't applaud. There should only do more. But then the policeman arrives. Thank the Lord, he's come to save the day. Or has he? He's 107.
Evening, all.
And who's he with? Why, Rolf Harris. Seemingly holding something very hot. Oh, no, it's not his didgeridoo. It's the stylophone, of course. Thank you, Lauren, yes. And he's got two little out-of-tune boys with him. Well, that's about the end of the film because you realise that it was all a dream. And when you wake up in your bed like Gregor Samsa in the Metamorphosis, you realise you have changed into a beetle. Now, is there any greater pleasure for the music fan than unexpectedly coming across Kate Bush in a friend's attic? Yes, there are few pleasures that can compare to finding rare albums. So, team, impress us with your vinyl collections and tell us what obscure gems you have nestling somewhere between the Buzzcocks and the Tweenies. It sounds painful, but I'm reassured that it's actually a place.
Well, I've got a cracking album that R.E.M., KLF and ELO got together to record an album, and Carol Vorderman put the title up on Countdown.
Well, yeah, actually, Jeff Beck joined Beck to record a charity LP in Germany to raise money for tropical disease research, sponsored by a former UN leader, called the Boutros Berry Berry Beck Baden Baden Double album. Nearly. Nearly.
I got some early stuff by the Pet Shop Boys when they used to actually have a pet theme in their albums. And they did a version of Tabby Road.
Actually, I'll tell you what. Suggs did an album of Culture Club covers called "The Madness of Boy George."
That's quite good. And Marilyn's son did the same with Boy George Knew My Father. How about The Clash, Bing Crosby and Mike Tyson? They made an album of movie themes called Clash, Bing, Wallop. What a picture.
And the Pet Shop Boys. They also did an album of ABBA covers. Pooper Scooper. Bunny, Bunny, Bunny. And The Win-A-Lot Takes It All.
I have an unlikely album that Iggy and the Stooges did with only bagpipes, and it was sort of covers of Scottish folk songs. It was called Lust for Fife.
I found some wacky it's like a sort of Catholic dance album, sort of Latin Catholic dance album. It's by the Sisters of the Mersey Tunnel Vision of Our Hairy Sainted Aunt, with Miami Sound Machine, and it's called In Gloria Estefanum.
I've got a very, very old album by Matisse, Gauguin and Picasso called Various Artists.
Now, not too long ago, Radio 2 was the natural habitat of Matt Monro and the Mike Sam Singers. What was once a world of cardigans and rich tea biscuits is now the world of the cardigans and Limp Biscuit. And in honour of Lauren, a young Turk, who no doubt thinks nothing of staying up till midnight and taking the shower cap from a hotel, we're going to indulge in some indie hijinks. Now, the mid-90s phenomenon that was Britpop may have been part of the lineage of great British music, but can you, my little sweethearts, show us how? Steve, what about you?
I like to do the real version of one of Blair's greatest hits, because as we all know that Blair, especially Damon Albarn, like to pretend they were down with the London kids, when actually they're four very, very posh blokes from Colchester. So this is the real Blair. We talk like cockneys, but we are not. We're about as cockney as a Guy Ritchie film plot. And Jamie Oliver, not the diamond geezer. You can tell we're just posh kids by what we've got in our freezer. Man's too, with a hint of fennel. Man's too, just add some basil. Man's too, it makes a great meal. Man's too, we love Delia Smith. Man's too. Thank you very much.
Richard, what about yourself? What have you got there?
I reckon Britpop originally came over from Ireland. So this is my favourite Britpop tune done in its original Irish forms. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're weird, in tears, too near and too far away. He said, saw red, went home and stayed in bed all day. T-shirt, dish dirt, always love the one you hurt. 1, 2, 3, 4, it's a crack going back. I'm standing on the rooftop shouting out, baby, I'm ready to go. Baby, I'm ready to go.
Lauren.
Well, what I'm going to do is to do a song that is traditionally a foreign song in that it's Spanish and was sung by Richie Valens. But I'm going to do it in a Mockney Britpop style, and it's called La Bamba. All together. All right, me old China. Parabaila La Bamba. Parabaila La Bamba. Se necesita una poca de grazia. Una poca de grazia. Y otra casita. Y arriba, arriba. No, yo soy marinero. Soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Ba, ba, bamba. Ba, ba, bamba. Ba, ba, Chimbley, step in time. Alright, Packer, coming on like Mr. Kipling, exceedingly good, innit? Alright. That's exhausted my Anglo-Saxon resources. I'm going back to my Viking roots. Finished. And that is, thank you.
Now, as I found out to my cost when I played Maxwell's Silver Hammer at the Mirror Group Pensioners' Christmas party, not every song is suitable for every situation. Bearing this in mind, can you, team, get onto your imaginary world's worst step and suggest the worst numbers to be played at those solemn rites of passage? So, worst songs for a christening, inappropriate songs.
Who's the daddy? That one for a Jewish christening, the first cut is the deepest.
What about...
Well, actually, if it was a country christening, we have a... Yeah, my bucket's got a hole in it. Yeah, my bucket's got a hole in it. Hurry that damn baby up, would you?
Right, they say David Bowie is the chameleon of rock, and likewise Shane MacGowan certainly has many of the characteristics of the noble newt. But, returning to the Thin White Duke for a moment, how good are our players at shape-shifting? Yes, reinvention and general poncing about. Well, this is the round in which we find out, as it's time for In the Style Of. So, my good chums, what old songs can you play in an all-new and completely different style? Lauren, let's start with you.
I'm going to do Joni Mitchell performing S Club 7's Reach.
Hurrah!
Reach for the stars, climb every mountain high and reach for the stars. Follow your own sweet rainbow, reach for the stars. 'Cause when that rainbow's shining over you, that's when your dreams and schemes and angel hair and ice cream castles in the air will all come true. Hang on.
Steve, what have you got?
I thought I would have a go at the National Anthem, done in the style of 1960s Tamla Motown. God save our gracious Queen. God save our noble Queen. God save our Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save our Queen.
Richard, what do you fancy doing? Apart from going down the pub, obviously.
Right, this is one of my favourite tunes. They Might Be Giants, Birdhouse in Your Soul. But I've always wanted to hear it done by Tom Waits. So here we go.
I'm your only friend. I'm not your only friend, but I'm a little glowing friend. But really, I'm not actually your friend, but I am. Blue canary in the alley by the light switch, who watches over you.
Make a little birdhouse in your soul.
Not to put too fine a point on it, say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul.
Dave, the spotlight of radio turns to you.
Well, I thought, well, Peter Lorre. I thought. And this is Peter Lorre doing It's All Over Now, Baby Blue.
You must leave now. Take what you need, you think will last. Well, whatever you wish to keep, you'd better grab it fast. He understands your orphan with his gun. Crying like a fire in the sun. Look out! The saints are coming through. And it's all over now, baby blue.
Such a learning curve, this programme. Now, there can't be many film lovers who don't know this great cinematic tune. But what if, rather than playing Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford had starred as Kingston Jamaica Jones and the Grass Crusade? What would the soundtrack have been like then? Maybe something like this. I found the Ark, but I could not find the Holy Grail. But what would old Indiana have done if, rather than facing the Nazis, he had come across a far more scary opponent? Yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer and their keyboards of doom. Truly terrible. Of course, several years ago, they made Young Indiana Jones. But did they really have the right theme tune? I think not. I think the music wasn't young enough. I think they should have gone way, way young. I think it should have sounded something like this. You boy, Jones, what are you doing with that big boulder in the corridor? Take those tarantulas and see Mrs. Jones. Lauren, we finished. Well, as Jim Morrison once said, another one won't kill me, will it? More famously, he also said, this is the end, beautiful friend. Yes, that's it for Jammin for another week. Time to say cheerio to Richard Vranch and Dave Catlin-Birch. And time to wave goodbye to our guests, Rowland Rivron and Steve Gribbin. Next week, our guests will be Miss Elaine Page and Miss Barbara Dickinson. Until then, it's goodbye from me and goodbye from him. So, somebody in the audience, please, squeeze my melon.
Jamming was hosted by Rowland Rivron with Richard Vranch, Dave Catlin-Birch, Rowland Rivron and Steve Gribbin. Programme associates were Stuart McConey and Ian Pattinson, and the producer was Ashley Blaker.